we just talking about, music and what made me, or when did I know that I was going to be doing music. Truthfully, like I said, I grew up with low self-esteem. I wanted approval, being a middle child. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I needed attention. And again, I was rapping first, but music soothed me. I was listening to like After Seven and, New Edition and things like that. And it made me feel different. I could hear music and it wasn't
Mm.
just, oh, it sounds good. It changed my mood. It had a different effect on me. And I just kept going with it. So I didn't know if it was going to be in a church, on a street corner, a subway, what it was, on a cruise ship, but I knew I would be singing somewhere. You know what I'm
So for
saying?
me, like, what was your turning point? Because, like, first and foremost, you are an incredible singer. There's certain people that has these
Thank
gifts,
you.
and they take these gifts and they use them to their full advantage. So you, sir, took your gift and used it to your fullest advantage. So
Thanks,
what
man.
was your turning
Thank you.
point for you when it was like, when you said, yo, this is it right here? What was that point?
Um, it's hard because it wasn't the record deal. That's not what it was. It wasn't that. The turning point that I felt like I could really sing, and I haven't really said this that much, was we were on tour. It was actually our second tour. We were on tour with Boys to Men. And we were like the third act, I think. It was like, matter of fact, it was Maya, Uncle Sam, Destiny's Child, then us, then Casey and JoJo, then Boys to Men. That was the
Mm.
lineup. And I noticed that Wanye would be at the show on the side of the stage when we'd be performing, which is unusual. Usually the act shows up a little bit before it's time
Right.
to go on or whatever. So one day he was like, man, I be in the shower singing your riffs. I come watch you because you inspire me to go hard
Mm-hmm.
when I come on stage. So it was actually Wanye that made me go, dang, well,
Right.
maybe I am pretty good. At first you winging it, you know what I'm saying? I had a son, my son was born when I was in high school, so I was super scared. I knew I had to provide, so it wasn't a game. It wasn't well, let me try this out. If this doesn't work, I'll go to school. It
Mm-hmm.
was it's all or nothing. Either I'm gonna be doing this or I'm gonna be running up in somebody's house or something because I
Facts,
gotta provide. You
facts.
know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
crazy. I was seeing that you had a child. You had your oldest is what, 26 and 24, and your youngest is three
24,
or four.
24. Uh-huh.
Right. So like,
Yeah,
how is
3.
that?
Yes, sir.
How is that trend? Like, what? How did you break that down first and foremost to your oldest? Because I had like a certain simulation with my in-laws. It's like, listen, you got a brother that's 2 years old. You're like, what? How did you break that down to your 24-year-old?
Well, the crazy part is I was worried about having a grandkid like close to the same age as, my daughter or
Right.
something, at real hood. But my son has told me that he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to have kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, that'll probably change as he matures and meets the right person. But I think that all of the drama that I went through with my son, which he's the reason I made it. You know what I mean? But me and his mother never rocked, and she courts and all these different things. And at a young age, you're really scared. You don't understand the system, false
Right.
accusations, a bunch of drama. We was, both immature, but once you call the police or involve the legal system, ain't no going back. Ain't no, oh, you was just mad. We can work it out. I don't. That's
Right.
that's a man. You can't come back from that. So it scared me so much that I think it was a blessing in disguise
Mm-hmm.
because it happened before I made it. So now when I'm on the road and I'm thinking about wilding out, I'm thinking about court. I'm thinking about child support. I'm thinking about all the things I've been through before I made it. So look, heck, I put on a condom before I go to sleep. If I think I'm a dream about something, I'm like, it ain't happening with me. So then you mature and I've been in different relationships that God didn't have meant for me. And then when you get in a situation where you're with somebody long enough and you trust them and you trust their family, because truthfully, when you have a child, it ain't just about you and that person. There's a support system. It's grandparents, it's aunts, uncles, and cousins, and these different things these other dynamics that we don't think of. And I got the right person with the right dynamics, and I can remember when she told
Right.
me she's pregnant because it wasn't planned. I knew with my wife that she had no kids. She's a few years younger than me,
Right.
and she deserved that. And I wanted to give her that. So I remember I didn't know we were planning our wedding. We were actually taping Housewives of Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
because we were supposed to be the new couple, and I was sleeping on a rug with my dog, just knocked out. And you see all these videos of surprised, look, I'm pregnant, all that beautiful stuff. I be
Right.
watching all that stuff on YouTube, right? I'm like, man, she just woke me up like, here, I took two of them. I was like, that's how you tell me? But you know, we got a beautiful daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. I spoil her. And the hardest thing and the main thing I focus on is letting my son know, you know, there wasn't social media out like it is now. We didn't take a
Right.
million pictures and post them all the time. Now he grown, he don't want that no way. But I want him to understand that just because he see a bunch of pictures of his sister and, you know, all these things that we document on social media, it doesn't
Right.
lessen anything with me and him.
Right.
That's
And
still my
that's
baby boy.
very
You know what I'm
important. I
saying?
like that you said that because I myself have 3 kids, and my oldest son is 14. But you know, growing up, he wasn't in the social media age. So now I got a youngest is a daughter, so I be
Right.
posting on my middle child. So and I kind of try to bring back old pictures to post it because you know kids they see that, they notice that, and sometimes they may not tell you, but they feel some type of way, like, why is dad always posting them and not me? So it's important that you let your kids know, like, listen, you came in the age when we ain't had none of this shit here. All right, so you be happy, and I bring a
Right.
little old pic, I can put you up there.
And luckily, he has a lot of memories. He knows about me driving at the height of my career to a whole nother state to sleep in a bunk bed next to him
Right,
just to come to a basketball game with him. He has these memories and he knows the hoops that I jumped through. So he knows how much I love him. The only other hard part is when people come on social media and they be like, when you going to give Rory a brother or sister? I
right,
find that disrespectful to him because they be like, oh, yeah, well, he's
right,
24. That's still her brother.
right,
I mean, that's still her protector. So, you know, I got 2 kids happily. I
right.
really feel like I'm done because it's not about how old I am per se when it comes to my daughter, but I want to be still that cool grandpa when she has kids. I don't want it to be, you should have met your
Right.
grandpa. He was a great guy. Nah, hell no. You're going to meet granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to be quick, but hey,
Right,
man,
like,
you know
yo,
what I'm saying? We're
grandpa
going to be
got
good.
balls. You better stop playing with grandpa. He got balls. Speaking of balls, right? So, you know, shout out to Swiss Beats, man. Take another drink. Shout out to Swiss Beats and all of them. They got the verses and Timberland, the verses battle. I know you probably, I don't know if
Mhm.
you've been looking and if you have seen. Like, who would you
Oh,
feel
yeah, for
like you
sure.
would want to go up against if they was to do a versus?
They've asked me, and I don't even want to do it, but it's okay. If you looked around my house, you wouldn't see any awards. You wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even know an artist lives here. My wife has put certain things up, like in my studio lounge, which I don't even want that there, to be honest, because I live in the moment. If I get relaxed and look at all that I've accomplished, then you can get caught up in that,
Right,
and you feel like, okay, I've done enough. I'm never gonna be satisfied with the success. I'll always want more. Now, there's only 2 conditions. Now,
mm-hmm.
we playing some new music to see who still got it. We can do that all day. Or if we gonna do it, I got a microphone right here
Right,
and a speaker system. We can go live because it ain't just about what you
right,
did. It's a can you still do it? And I feel like I can. So we gonna do it. Give me the microphone and let's do it live. But it's if it's a
right,
celebration of music, I'm good with that. And I seen that with the women. I seen that with Snoop and
right,
DMX because there's a level of respect. But you know these R&B cats, they'll swear it
right,
down. Oh, it's all love, but it's really not. We trying to kill each other because I know we doing on the road.
right,
We trying to hurt everybody, and that's what makes a good show. So it's hard to do that when for us R&B is all about competition, but in a different way. With rap, you competing face to face. You saying bars to each other. With R&B, it ain't head to head. You talking about women, you talking about love, you talking about the club, you talking about sex. So you
right.
can't be singing about another group. So when y'all can compete, it's neck to neck.
Right.
It's not pretty.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get
So
it. And
it's a little
speaking on
different.
just to piggyback off the live, I know you recently did like a live unsung on your live, right? So I like how was
Uh-huh.
that experience? Because like I'm watching the NBA now, there's no fans and nothing like that. So it's like you as an artist, you perform for the people, you a live audience. So how was the experience for you?
Right. Well, it's funny because when I'm on stage, a lot of times I close my eyes and imagine I'm somewhere else anyway because I be nervous. You know, just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
23 years in, it never changes. Um, but it was a little different because I'm the DJ, I'm the engineer, I'm the sound man, I'm everything. And I was really nervous, but it ended up being fun. And the reason it was fun for me is because I've never really been one about accolades, and people don't know about all the records I've written and things like that. but it was really my first
Mm-hmm.
opportunity in my career to flex. I was able to flex because I'd be like, oh, this one record I wrote for Luther, or this song I did for Jamie Foxx, maybe and
Right.
it was kind of cool that I could kind of not necessarily brag, but pat myself on the
Right.
back, like, oh, what you ain't know. So I think out of everything, that was the fun part. Vocally, I've always been one to feel like you're gonna come to the show, but like, oh, that's that one guy that got that song, whatever. But I'm gonna sing my ass off, and then you're gonna be like, yo, I didn't realize my
Mm-hmm.
man was like that. That's my job, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I represent all the other groups from my genre
Mm-hmm.
from when we came in my era. So whether it be how I look, if I take care of myself, how I sound, how I present myself, I feel like I'm representing the Jaggeds, the 112s, the Drew Hills, all those great groups. There's a lot more that came from my era, because when you see us, you expect us to look older.
Right.
You expect us to be washed. But truthfully, you see me, I want you to be like, oh man,
Right. You
okay,
still
you
right.
still all right, you holding on, because I feel like I'm a representative of
Right.
them. You
Because
know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I
I'm an
watched it and I
extension.
was like, man, sometimes you don't know the hits that some of our favorite artists put out. I had a interview Troy Taylor, and he was talking about the songwriting and the songs that he written for certain people. I had no idea. So like in terms of songwriting, because as a musician, people think that a lot of your accolades come from being an artist out there, but on the back end, songwriting is way more heftier than you being an actual artist. So just dive into that a little bit about for the certain people that you've written for and certain songs that they probably don't even know that you wrote.
Well, I mean, for me, I did pull up with my partner B Flat. We wrote that for Ty Dolla $ign, or
Mm-hmm.
Lil Duval and Ty Dolla $ign. Um, let's see, I'm Mindless Behavior, Usher, Jamie Foxx, Luther, Jay Holiday, Genuine. I said Lloyd, I think. It's a lot of artists, but the difference is when you're just a writer primarily, you want credit.
Been
You
that.
want people to know, yo, I penned that. But when you're an artist in your own right, artists aren't as quick to mention you because
Right.
you're almost like their competition. So you kind of are like, you're really the ghostwriter per se. You're behind the scenes. So they're not going to mention you in interviews like that. It took maybe 15 years for Jaheim to mention that I had written Just in Case in
Mm.
Anything in Remarkable Form. And it was a wonderful moment. But somebody like Jamie Foxx, because he's this big actor, comedian, he's everything. I'm at a concert he had here in Atlanta at the Fox, and he didn't even know I was there. He started
Mm-hmm.
singing my record, and I was shook. I started singing at the top of my lungs. I called like the Holy Ghost or something, right? And he like looking at the audience, and then he notices me, and he points to me, has the band break down, and he tells the whole theater, that's
Mm.
RL, he wrote this song for me. And it was one of the biggest and best moments of my career, you know what I'm saying? So people don't know that I've written so many records for a lot of people. Ideal, that whatever you want to do, tough love,
Yeah.
whether, a lot of different things. And for me, I'm blessed because, we're in a
Right.
pandemic right now. We can't tour. And, they have a lot of different grants and loans for artists like myself. But the blessing that I have is that the residual income I get from the investment of staying in the
Right.
studio instead of going to the club, and, writing these records and being away from my family on flights and going to work with other artists has blessed me to where I could literally, knock on wood, because I don't want to never do another show, but I could literally sit at the crib all day, work out, get my hair cut, and live
Right.
off of my publishing. But for me, I know God has more in store for me. I want more. I want to do more music. I want to work with more great artists. I want to
Right.
do more great interviews like this. I mean, so I want more. And I think that when I get to heaven, I want God to look at me and go, you use every ounce of
Right.
that blessing that I gave you. And I think that that's what we all are supposed to do. Whatever talents we have, whatever gifts, we should be using them to the
Right.
fullest that
Man,
we
listen,
possibly can.
applaud that. Pour all them gems he fucking dropped on my ass just now.
Thanks, man.
Hold on,
Thank
take
you.
a little sip to that. Man, all right. So let me go back, right? Because I'm in my high yellow 30s, right? So I ain't gonna get my age back. But I was saying,
listen. I'm
you don't even look
43, so it
You don't even
happened.
look it.
But I'm
You
40.
look younger than me. I
Thank
gotta
you,
do some
brother.
working
Thank
out
you.
then
Thank you.
too. Shit. Shit. So I was talking to my wife, right? I was like, yeah, man, I'm about to interview RL. She's like, oh my gosh, right? But you know, this was, hopefully she ain't watching, but listening. But my favorite song, like from just the group and you in total, was like Butter Love. Like, I just want you to, like, you got the
thank you,
love
man.
that yo, I had this little thing back then. Wait.
Hey, stop. Don't get in trouble over
Listen,
me. Okay? What's your wife's name?
It was I made a sign of PDA, all right? NDA, whatever the fuck they call that. Listen, shut up, don't say that. I'm doing an interview.
Hopefully she's watching. You said her favorite was Butter Love too? And I like it all when I'm chilling with my homies. I think about it. I think about you only, yeah. You got what I want. It's that butter love. Just hit me on my head, baby. I'll meet you at your crib, lady. Hey. That's for her so she don't kill you. You know what I'm saying? That's for the wife. What's your wife's name? Tanisha, forgive him. We were just shooting the breeze. He got carried away. We ain't talking about no old nothing. Listen. Change the subject. Let's go. Where we going?
You know what?
Let's go.
That's it. Fuck it. We done. We go with that. Hey, man. But I just wanted to know, right? Like, during that time, right? That was a perfect segue. During that time, what was life like during that time? Because when you compare the 90s R&B to today's R&B, it's a total opposite, right? Total opposite. Like, what was... Right. Like being in this era now, you're seeing how the artist is moving now. Like, just describe to the people the contrast of eras and how R&B was perceived then to how it's perceived now.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of great music out. There's like I listen to a lady from the Bay. Her name is Tiffany Gaucher. I like what is it? Happy Day. There's a bunch of great artists. You know, her. A bunch. The problem is the game is so saturated. And now the internet is easy. You don't gotta, it's not radio based like it should be in some ways, but not totally radio based. It's streaming. You have access to artists through social media now, so their personalities can come out. So if they're a-hole, you can see it now. You can't hide it, you know what I mean? And these artists don't have media training like they did. So what happens is there's a bunch of things that we did really bad that you will never know because there weren't camera phones and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. So truthfully, I feel bad somewhat for these artists because things happen so fast for them, but then it's gone so fast. I don't know if there will be more classic records like we had. I think we're the last of a dying breed where there was records that last 20, 30 years. I'm hoping not, you know, because I want people to eat. You know what I mean? My favorite saying is, I wish you well, I just wish me better. I mean, you can have a 2020 Benz. I just want a 2021 spaceship. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating. I want you to eat. You know what I'm saying? But as far as music goes, I think that you can get put on for other reasons than talent now. So it's scary. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't people that were just pretty back in the day, but there was some type of talent, and that's why they were in that position. So there are certain people that come out and they're overwhelmed because they hit a lick. It's almost like the dope game. You hit a lick, but they'll never be able to do it again that same way. They won't be able to, you know, come up with another record like that because it was an accident. It wasn't skill. It was you threw, a dart at a wall and it perfectly went in, which is, that's a blessing. Just take your money and invest it and do whatever. But I think that's the big thing. And I think that nowadays, back in the day, if you didn't know a drug dealer or ex-musician or somebody that was famous in your neighborhood or in your city that had a studio, it wasn't a laptop and you can have a little microphone and make quality stuff. It wasn't like that. You needed a reel-to-reel. You needed all this instruments and stuff like that in order to really come up with your craft. Now you can go online, buy a beat for $29.99, do your record on your computer, put it out, boom, you blew up. So I just think the access is different, which is good and bad. So it's a double-edged sword. There's a bunch of great new artists, but it's a bunch of artists that ain't ready yet. And they don't, there's no way they can get ready because there ain't no practice no more. You in the big leagues. Ain't no college, ain't no AAU, ain't no high school team for you because now you in front of the lights and you're not prepared for it. So you say dumb stuff, you do dumb stuff, and you haven't worked on your craft like you should. So the songs sound dope in the studio and in the club and on the radio, but then you go and see them live and they sound like that barbecue grill. And you like,
I don't even have this, but since you touched on that, so do you think like the biggest thing that's missing from the artists in this generation is artist development? Because I think that's what seems to be the key thing that's lacking is artist development.
yes, and having access too quickly. Because I used to go in meetings and the first question from Clive Davis or KG would be, let me hit a record. If it was a hit or if it was close to a hit, they could tell you what to change. I remember Clive Davis showed up at the studio in his members only jacket and was like, I need you, RL, to go back to the melody for the end of Butter Love. That's why we went to that sex you till the song goes, all that got that perfect shape, all that, none of that was on there. We had to add that. That was Clive saying, go back to that melody strong. So we took instruction well, you know what I mean? Because we were humble enough to know, okay, we cool in our little talent shows where we from, but we didn't have social media to where everybody knew us, even though we hadn't made it yet or we weren't successful yet. So some of it is artist development, but some of it honestly is just cats not being ready, but they have all these resources. And again, where I'm in a meeting and they're asking me, now, how many followers do you have? What's your social media presence? What the hell I got to do with a hit? If it's a machine, you can get me all in followers. But that's the question now. That's why a lot of times, this guy, he made it big from Snapchat or YouTube, which is cool. I'm with that. But what about the cats that's just talented, that just have dope music, have the look, have the talent, but they don't know how to work the technology and don't have that.
That's key, man, because, I had a conversation with one of my guys, and like we do something out here, like open mics where we develop artists and give them certain things that they can use that's resourceful for them to, take it to the next level. And I think like one of the key things, as you alluded to, was, just having not even the people that in the know that can guide you, but that's the thing that they don't have in this generation, coming up. Like you said, it's so easy to go out there and get a $30 beat, put it out there, and then make it instant success. But once you obtain that success, you don't have the people that have developed you into how
to sustain it. How do you sustain it? You don't, right? Because it's like, what's the next single? What are you doing next? So that's why people are trying to go viral and TikTok, and which is cool. Like, listen, I'm not knocking. The one thing I don't want to do is be the old guy in the club with the linen outfit on with the sandals. You know what I'm saying? Hating on the youngsters. Not right, hating on the youngsters. That's not what I want to do. Where I'm at, what I think that social media has taken away from artistry, from life, is grace. I did an interview recently, and it was before Kanye's breakdown, and I talked to my publicist. I said, from now on, I'm not going to ever talk about other artists, but I'll say this. There's a soundbite, and I basically was giving grace to people like Kanye, because truthfully, we're not politicians. We make music. And when you put a mic in front of us and you ask us about something that we shouldn't even be talking about, sometimes we get comfortable and start talking about it. And I think, he's going through something, but I'ma still love him. And I think we have this cancel culture thing to what we do a lot of times is we throw our artists away. You look at Whitney, we was laughing, or people were laughing, talking about her addiction, her battles, but then they're at the funeral and Let Greatest Love of All come on right now. You singing at the top of your lungs, crying, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we need to give people flowers while they're here, or give them the help they need to succeed. And I think that a lot of artists say dumb stuff. Hell, I have. But what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to be, because I'm so highly favored, is I want to be, what I'm going to be is a blessing to others, and I want to uplift even people that hate on me. Like literally, somebody that interviewed me put up a soundbite in clickbait so that people could attack me about showing grace to my brother. Now, I'm from Minneapolis. I'm from the place that Mr. Floyd, was killed. My good friend of mine is one of his attorneys, one of the family attorneys. I went back to Minnesota and met with the chief of police. My thing is, I'm all about growth as an artist, as a husband, as a father, as a man, as a black man, as a human. And that's why I was so excited to do your show. You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing is anybody around me, I want them to grow. I want their brand to grow. I want their success, their bank account. I want their knowledge to grow, and I want to grow too. So for me, the reason I don't hang around a lot of people is because a lot of people don't want to see you grow.
No, don't.
Let's just be honest. So we all need to grow. That's why I'm gonna turn on the TV one day and guess what? I'm gonna see you on TV. You know what I'm saying? Still with the wife because you're gonna apologize after the interview. He's sorry. But you see what I'm saying? But it's all about growth, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what I think these artists don't understand it too. It's like I can't be mad at artists that started out doing the perfect example, Pitbull. He was a straight, just a regular, Spanish rapper. Now all of a sudden he went international and he's doing records with country artists, and it's like I'm not mad at that. He was like, you know what, hood has been good to me.
That other side,
but you know what, I'm on something else. And lastly about that, I'll just repeat what Lloyd told me. He's like a little brother to me. One of the most talented cats I know. He was like, somebody came up to him from back home, I think, and was like, man, you changed. And he looked at him and said,
no, right.
Man, you didn't. Like anybody watching this, anybody that's gonna watch this, don't be afraid to grow. And the people around you don't want to see you grow, then they're not supposed to be around you.
I couldn't have said it better, because especially like me coming from, just to touch on that a little bit, me coming from Brooklyn, New York, and they see the growth and the success that I'm having now, when you said it and alluded to change, people around you, when they stuck in the box and you're elevating, they're going to think you change, right? So just keep on elevating, keep on doing you, because the people that when you change, the people that's with you are going to change with you. People who are going to stay right there.
Exactly.
So we're going to leave on that note. We're going to leave that there. So I know you touched on Minneapolis and going to meet with certain individuals there. With all that's going on, I just want to know, what was your first reaction when you saw that video, George Floyd, in your hometown? What was your first reaction? How did that make you feel?
First reaction was, again, because it was the third time that it had happened,
right?
In Minnesota that I had seen. And actually pain, because that's a lot of hate to do that. Like, that took a while. You know what I mean? That was up close and personal. It's almost like, shooting somebody from a car, that's different. Stabbing somebody up close and personal, or strangling them, or kneeling on them, that's right there in their face, watching the life leave their body. So that's a bunch of hate. And for me, it's painful. You know what I'm saying? I really thought growing up that things were changing and, things were growing, but really with, the president we have in office, all these people are coming out and showing us, no, they just hid for a while. And this is what it is. And this is what they think about you. And that's scary.
Yeah,
that's super scary.
I mean, because me having kids and stuff like that is crazy, because I was in Atlanta this past weekend and with some in-laws, and her kids were like 7, 12, and the younger ages, and they was having a conversation about police brutality and killings and stuff of that nature. So I'm sitting there, I didn't even say nothing. I'm like this is what this younger generation are talking about. They have to deal with these social injustice, but it's good because they are made aware of this now at this such young age. Like with us older guys, we learning about. I mean, we knew about it, but it's not in the forefront because we didn't have social media to put it in the forefront back then. So now that it's in the forefront now, as older, we're like, man. So the younger generation is really keen on it, and I just thought that them having that conversation at such a young age was good, especially for our community. And now, kudos to you for all the things that you do in the community, and that's super dope. Man. So I commend you on that. So my next question to you is, being what's all going on, right? We got the COVID, we got the social injustice things going on. What do you think as a community we need to do first and foremost to invoke the change?
Continue to fight, but unify. And that's not just Black people. The truth is, change isn't going to truly come until our white brothers and sisters see it and fight with us. We can say it's all about us, but truthfully, there are some wonderful white warriors out there that are really fighting on our behalf. But it takes unity. Again, I feel like this cancel culture and really being willing to throw each other away, I like a success story. I like a good comeback story. That's why I grew up loving
Right.
Rocky. I want to see you come from nothing and grow. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that a lot of times I don't watch Breaking Bad and think that every white person is a drug dealer, okay, or a meth dealer. You can't watch rap videos or some show on TV and think because this is what you see that this is real life. This is entertainment. This might be some of what we come from, but it's not necessarily glorifying it. It's painting pictures of our
Right.
struggle and what we've gone through. So I think that a lot of times people have fear out of ignorance. I don't necessarily think it's totally a race thing. I think that it's an economic thing. Like, I think that's really what it's about. Because if you're black with bread or successful, they look at you different. They think that you're one of the
Right.
good ones, not realizing, no, that I am not the anomaly. This is how it usually is. I do think that the issues with police is different because let me ask you this. You tell me some kids right now that are growing up that want to be police officers that aren't from law enforcement
That's true.
families. You won't
That's
find one,
true.
or not many. And so you have these cops that are sent to these precincts in these communities that they don't know, don't respect. So they do look at us as animals because they don't have any
Right.
empathy, sympathy, anything for us. So one of the things that I suggested in a program they're trying to implement is, okay, if you're a cop and you're not from this area, instead of coming here and not knowing anybody, not having any sympathy, 2 days a month, paid, you go to a community center and you learn about the community. Be
Right.
around the kids, and you're getting paid. Because that way, if you see little Jason or Tyrone or whoever riding his bike and you know he might have took 10-cent candy out the store, you might stop him and take him to his mama's because you know his mama gonna give him a whooping, and
Right.
that's gonna be worse than anything you could do. You know what I'm saying? So once you feel like you're a part of the community,
Police the
then you
community
take
properly.
pride in that community. Exactly, and it's not just about who can I arrest today, who can I rough up, and you start loving and having pride in it. And you might see somebody, and you might go, "Oh, that's Willie. He just drunk. I'm gonna take him home and tell Sheila. I'm not going. His bark is worse than his bite. He ain't gonna do nothing. He just talking. You know, he was a war veteran.
Right.
He's bipolar. It could be anything. You find these things, and once you're in the community,
Right.
you become a part of that community. Because I remember there were cops that we would see growing up, and I pull my pants up because he knew my daddy. He bowled with my daddy, or he was a coach at my high school. There was different reasons because they were in the community, so there was a level of respect. Now it's fear, and it was always fear, but it was a respectful fear, like the same way you fear your daddy.
I hate.
Now
Right.
it's I hate that cop.
Right.
Like, he gonna mess with me, and we need to figure out how to fix that dynamic. And the way you're doing it is, it's gonna take years, but you got to get some of these kids to realize it's admirable. You could be a soldier, you could be a police officer, and you can be the change, not just make it, but be the change.
Yeah, and
So we got to figure that out.
I want just to touch on that point that you just made, as far as like policing the community that knows the community, and I think that's very important because in order for you to, with anything, right, you have to know what you're getting, know the product, in order for you to not only review it but understand it. So I think that's the thing. Cops need to be police, and then they saying defund the police, but I never heard, okay, if you're going to defund the police, what are you going to use with that extra money? That needs to go into better systems or training, and have police in place in own communities where they can do that thing.
Right. What's funny is I didn't know what it meant, and
Mhm.
it didn't mean like just in the police. It meant taking some of their resources, because a lot of the money they use is for war vehicles and high powered equipment that
Right.
really is for the army. You know what I'm saying? It's military grade stuff. So what they should really do is use that money and redirect it to other things in the community
Right.
so that you won't need that stuff. Because if there's programs for kids to succeed and go to college and not have to hustle, then you ain't gonna need to do a drug bust over here because my man, he on a scholarship, or academic, or he's in the
Right.
science program. So that's what a lot of it means that I found out. I do feel bad for some great cops because I have cops in my family, but I feel like they should speak up. But what I did learn, and I'll leave it at this, is find out who the head of the union is for these different precincts and these different
Right.
communities, because I've talked to
Mhm.
people high up at departments, and they're telling me, look, we tried to fire cops before,
Right.
but it's a union. So all of a sudden, their union leader comes in like, no,
Mhm.
and they go and fight it, And they're back on the job in 2 weeks. So there are many great cops that are from the community, that are from the neighborhood. I met with Chief Arredondo back in Minneapolis. Great guy from the community. But it's almost like Obama. I hear all these complaints about he didn't do enough, for the black community. But what's funny is he only gets to deal with bills that come across his desk. If it don't make it through Congress, the House and the Senate and things like that, it don't get to him. So these smaller elections, what we say is smaller, you have to deal with them first so that your elected officials can fight for these things in the community. And then it gets to whoever the president is. And then he could be like, boom, 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 let's do this. But no matter what initiatives he has or ideas he has, this is a democracy. So you can't say, oh, this is what we're doing. And I think people don't realize that. And I think now that they're pushing back and trying to make these changes with Trump, they'll see that, Obama was really trying. And I think there's a lot of great people in the system. I mean, we just lost one.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Lewis just passed. And I think that, I think there's younger ones that are coming up the pipeline, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. I'm proud to be a black man. I'm proud. It's scary right now with COVID. It's scary right now with, the government and all these things going on. But right now, this needed to happen. God, we are resourceful people, and God will show us something. We needed to see this in order to unify. I just wish that all of us unify. I wish that we didn't throw one another away just because of soundbite or something.
Man, listen, RL, man, I could talk about this with you all day. It's like this would be a whole nother topic. But I know people want to know other shit too. But and just to end on this note about the whole Obama thing, because I had conversations with people, and I'm like, when you alluded to when you said that people said that Obama didn't do enough, I'm like, you gotta understand, President Obama was not a president of the black people. That's it. So we're gonna leave it at that. But I think you said that nail in the head. Let's talk about. Let's get into it right now. Right, You Are right. The single that you got out. There's a list of song.
Right.
You did it again, bro. You did it again. Like ladies, if you haven't listened to the song, go Google it, stream it. You Are. Tell us about that song, man. And like, what was your thought process when you made that? Cause incredible song.
I appreciate it. Well, it was for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Having a girl, it does change you. But what people don't realize is, we would always have to manage sexual fly records, but we would always have other aspects on the albums as well. But single-wise, that's what it was about. As I've matured, I wanted to show other aspects of my personality. And I do value all women, black, white, Spanish, Asian, Indian, whatever you are. And I think that, people will look at old videos from a lot of artists when we were coming up and say, oh, there's this one kind of girl in there, or why they all got to be this kind of girl. And what people didn't realize is that it was casting agencies. We'd come in town the day before the video, and it'd be a booklet with Polaroids, and you'd have to pick a girl, and 9 times out of 10, all those girls looked similar. So we didn't have control to choose other looking ethnic women at the time if it wasn't in that casting book. Now, when I shot the video for You Are, I wanted it to be about the beauty within of every woman, because I believe all women are beautiful. So that, for me, was something my daughter, to be honest, I wasn't even sure what I was going to do with the record, but my daughter would sing it, even at 2 years old, and I was like, maybe there's something to this record. Even to this day, she'll ask me to play the song, or she'll just start singing the hook, and I'm just like, wow. And I know how powerful music is, and I know kids are brutally honest. And it made me go, you know what? Let me put this out. So I'm super happy with it. The video, the team, with everybody did an amazing job. And now we're getting ready for the EP, which I'm gonna be giving away. It's called
that's dope.
The Letter
Make sure
J.
I gotta get a copy of that. And then I know my wife hears the interview. She gonna go back, because women always take everything. Well, everything can be good, but that 1%, you talk about like that for real. All right, listen to the RL joint, man. You are. Go ahead, I'm a I want to play a little game. I'll play a little game with all my guests. This is called Your Favorites. So I'm 10 favorites, and we're gonna get into it. All right. So the first one. Who's your favorite R&B singer?
Oh, man. Ooh, probably Joe, and I like Tank a lot too. But Joe, Tank, and then I know he's not R&B, but Jay Moss is my favorite singer. So he's
Okay.
gospel. So those are the three.
So, okay.
I
You
go. I
gave
gotta
me
get.
you gave me three. I asked you one. You gave me three.
I,
It's
I
okay.
couldn't.
You get away.
Okay, you know
Joe?
what, Joe?
Okay, Joe.
I'll say
Shout
Joe.
out to
I'll
Joe.
say Joe.
All right.
I'll say Joe. Yeah.
So what is one song that you hated but was everybody's favorite?
Mm. To be honest, I can't say because I always try to find something that I like about a song. There are records that I might have went, that shouldn't have been the single, but I like the song. So I can't really say like there might be another record on the album that I like better, but I can't say that there's a song
That you hate?
necessarily that I
Okay.
hated.
Fair enough. I give you a pass on that one, okay? Okay. Your favorite fast food restaurant?
Ooh. And I didn't even know about this place till like a year ago. It's probably Del Taco because they have turkey. I don't eat beef or pork. It's been like 20 something years. And they have like ground turkey burritos. Besides that, of course, I got Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? It's
Chick-fil-A.
got to be. Fast food. You said
You
fast
know
food.
what? I kind of put Chick-fil-A on a pedestal as far as fast food is concerned. So okay, Del Taco. We're gonna take Del Taco. All right. What's your favorite song you ever recorded but never released?
Ooh. I didn't release it, but Lloyd did. It's I Could Change Your Life. No, that is two. That and Orchestra, which I did on Genuine. Uh, Orchestra, I Can Change Your Life, though, is I could change your life if you let me. I can do it. I know just what you need. I can change your life.
Listen, all
That's
right, you gotta
those
stop
the ones right
singing, man.
there.
I can't sing. I can't serenade the woman like you can, man. I change a lot. Look, see, I'm gonna record you. I'm gonna record that snippet and like, listen, baby, I can sing. Ha, gotcha. The next one. Out of all the awards that you won, right? Because there's a lot. I ain't want to get into that. Which one is your favorite one?
Ooh, I guess it's an award. I'm a peace ambassador for an organization in Liberia. I got to meet Madam Sirleaf, who's the prime minister in Liberia, a good friend of mine, Barku Tubman, who used to be one of our managers from Flavor Unit. Come to find out, her granddad is uh, the old prime minister or president of Liberia. So I went out there. I got to meet the people. We got to do workshops with the kids. So probably that one because it let me know that my music could elevated me to be more than just an artist. I could evoke change. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that would probably
Okay.
be the one.
Let me take a drink to that too. Huh?
Appreciate
So,
it.
your favorite artist that no one heard before?
Ooh. It would be people have heard PJ and Tiffany Gaucher are two females. They're super dope. And I listen to them a lot. But besides that, my partner, Brian B. Flat Cook, who produces everything with me, he's one of the dopest people I've ever met, to be honest. And I've been around Jimmy Terry, Babyface, people like that. But it would probably be B Flat, and then of course the two young ladies, PJ, who she's on
Okay.
the Insecure soundtrack. But Tiffany Gaucher, she's got a record with Robert Glasper now, but she's super
Okay.
cold.
All
So I'll
right.
probably say them.
What's your favorite book?
Monster. Cody, Monster, Book Monster. Or I used to read a lot of Zane and Eric Jerome Dickey books. You know what? I'm front. It would be the Bible because I read every day, and not even to be funny, but sometimes I read it because I feel good. Sometimes I read it because I feel bad. Sometimes I read it because I feel
It has
guilty.
all those,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
those emotions,
So
right?
yeah. So the only I read it front to back. The only part of the Bible I had problems with was Psalms because it's a bunch of small prayers, and I was like, Lord, forgive me.
Right.
Let me just go to the, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
the
But
Bible. I can receive
yeah,
that. Amen. Your favorite R&B group, other than your group, of course. Your favorite R&B group.
it was Jodeci, but then it was 112 of my era. of my era it was, because you know, Puff, what he did, the Magic and the guys individually were super dope, like separately. Mike, Duran with the high voice in the production, Q's tone, Slim, the uniqueness of his voice. I felt like they had everything. But when it came to like the first R&B rock stars I really saw from my generation was Jodeci. It was just like, it was totally different.
Right.
They weren't soft. Like, you know, I was coming up in high school and I was singing. It wasn't cool. You know, people was testing you, trying you. They think you're a punk because you singing.
You
Jodeci was
stomped
like,
out,
nah, don't
but
get it
I'll
twisted.
stomp you out
You
and
know what I'm
sing.
saying? Right. So
So you said Jodeci?
yeah, Jodeci in
Okay.
my era 112.
Your
Yeah.
favorite travel destination?
Home. Like, I'm the guy that's on the very first flight coming home because I want to get to the crib. I like being at the crib, man. I'm gonna be honest. The crib, because ain't nothing like the comfort of going in your own fridge or turning on your own
That's
TV or
true.
sitting on your own couch.
That's
It's
true.
just it's
All right.
amazing.
Now, this is not a favorite, so it's like a most memorable. So what is one of the most
Okay.
memorable memories in your lifetime?
Ooh, a good one. Man, probably I'm a giver. So the first time I bought my mother a car, she didn't even know. I told her I had to take this car back, and they had given me something else to drive, and I needed her to take me. So I picked her up, and I said, "Well, just stop by the house first." And as we're pulling up to the house, I put the sold sign on the
Oh, wow.
rearview mirror, and she looked up, and she almost crashed because she started crying, and we still rolling. I'm like, "Mama,
It's
hold up,
together,
Mama,
right?
the brakes." So right, so that's probably
Damn,
the
I'm
biggest
crying,
best
man.
moment.
Mama, I got you, Mama. Soon Mama's coming, man. I'm gonna do all around and just pick you up and just dive and just, look, Mama, go. Shit, Mama. Yo. So you give me inspiration. Inspo. So,
Yeah, we inspiring each other, man. Because I can't tell you, as soon as I finish riding this bike again, I'm about to give me a
come on,
glass of
man.
wine or
Join the
something.
club, man.
It's
So
on.
what's next? What's next for RL? What you got coming up next for the people that's watching? What's next?
Well, I got the EP, the free EP, which is the letter J, which is 4 records. I'm giving away for free. I sampled John B, 2 Jodeci records, and a Janet Jackson record. And we're shooting videos for each joint. I have the Next by Nature project, which is Next and Naughty by Nature, which will probably be the final next project per se. We'll still tour, because everybody asks when y'all get back together, because I do solo things. I want to do it all. You know, we're revisiting uh, WQRL, which is Wingo from Jagged, Q Parker from 112, and myself. We had a group. We have records done. I have a Afro Beats album for Africa called Afro Sheets. But the focus right now is shooting the videos for the Letter J project, as well as the Next by Nature project. So we're focusing on that. It's just, all I do is create every day. You know, I'm working on a young artist. He's from like the Baltimore, Virginia area. He's 17. His name is Tylen. We put out the record featuring Ronnie DeVoe, where we flipped If It Isn't Love by New Edition. And it went top 30 Billboard. So we're getting ready for his second single that we wrote and produced called Yeah, Yeah. So I'm trying to do it all, man. I want it all. I want, you know, when my daughter becomes an adult, I want her to see work. I want her to see perseverance. I want her to be inspired by that, because at a young age, kids pick up on that. So she won't be afraid to grind.
Like,
Daddy
I mean,
grind.
you setting the example of, listen, this is how you can do this. Look at Daddy. Daddy got you. Follow the lead.
Right. My biggest thing I teach my daughter is, you can do anything. And it's funny because sometimes she'll ask me for help, and it'll be something simple, and I'll be like, I'm gonna show you, but don't say you can't. And now, like, she's starting to have that independence where she wants to brush her teeth on her own and different things like that. And I'll be like, you need me to help you? And she'll go, Daddy, I can do anything. And
There
I
you
just be
go.
like,
There
hell
you
yeah,
go.
that's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Right.
Listen,
So yeah.
Listen, you got to instill it in the kids at a young age, because, you know, they pick up on everything, and they run with it at a young age. So that's definitely what's up, man. All right, so we winding down. I got my little winding down glass. So I asked Troy Taylor this question, right? So it's kind of a hard question, right? But I got to ask my R&B crooners this question. If you had, and only 3 people, right? It don't matter, dead, alive, whatever. Your ultimate R&B group out of 3 individuals, who would it be?
Me tweeting T-Lo. I like what I got. You know what I mean? There's probably something that people say is better or he can do this, but it's always about being in your lane, and it's the ingredients. You get too much of one thing, it'd be too sweet. Too much of another, be too sour. I like what we had. That's why I never wanted to try to, put somebody else in the group per se to do an album. We would do like shows if need be, a stand-in. But truthfully, hell, people don't know Tweek can sing his ass off. T-Lo is one of the dopest vocalists. I don't think he gets the props, and that's why a lot of times, and I'll tell you this, people are quick to call me lead singer, and the reason I fight that is because I never want to lower or try to limit somebody's contribution or what they brought to me, because truthfully, I wouldn't be where I am or wouldn't have had the success without those guys, whether it's the stuff that I do now, my work ethic, whatever it is. They push me. I am successful because of God, my family, my supporters, but my group, that's my circle. And I think that it a lot of times makes them look like they're second or secondary, when in reality, what it takes, and anybody knows, whatever business you're running, whatever things you got one homie that's quiet, you got the one that's wild, you got the other homie that's like, no, let's not do that. They're more sensible. You have to have the right ingredients to be successful, no matter what. There might be one that's shown more. You might see them more. They might seemingly do the most, but in reality, none of it works without that core group. And for me,
that's because I didn't want to tap into it, but I'm, glad that you tapped into it, because when you have groups, it's difficult, it's like, because obviously people want to pin a lead singer, right? So then the other groups could, feel like, well, I can sing as equally as good as him, so that kind of putting that moniker on a person kind of, is give or take, could be the gift and the curse, so to speak.
Exactly, because egos are fragile, and we all men, you know what I'm saying? And truthfully, I never want to try to lower your contribution or say just because you didn't do this part, you didn't do something else, because there's so much behind the scenes that has to be done, and people don't see that. So it's almost like, why do you think a woman gets alimony? Just because she didn't make the money, she had to hold the house down so we could come home. So there's a reason she could get half. So it's the same thing within a group. Everybody has to play their positions to make it so we all comfortable. So that's just what it is.
One couple final questions, man. What is one thing that nobody knows about you, that you never told, that nobody knows about you? What is it?
All right, I used to steal dope out of my brother's safe and sell it. Right. I'm from that. So anybody that know my brother know he bat crazy. So as a youngster, I would go in this, and I probably wasn't making
said
what
dope,
I should have made, but
you said dope.
Yeah, I was pinching. Yeah, dope. I would pinch off my brother's stash, and that's why when he asked me for something, I got him. Statute of limitations is over, so I'm good.
Hold up, wait a minute.
7 years over, baby.
Don't get the fuck about here. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to parts of that.
No, but that's why I say I'm so blessed, because if I had gotten caught doing any of the things that I used to do when I was younger, I would have been in the system. So I know God had plans for me. So I don't say that I'm not trying to glorify anything, but my testimony, my story is my testimony. And for me, deal. So that's what it is for me.
Right. All right, man. Last question, man. For anybody that's coming up, whether they're into music, entertainment, whatever it is, just based off your experiences in the industry and coming up in the industry, what is some key advice that you could give to somebody that wants to pursue their dreams in any industry that they're
in? Shut up. Easy. And what I mean by that is, I can be in a room with the mail carrier, the Uber delivery guy, people that haven't had the experience that I've had. And because I've been in the game over 20 years, so a lot of people will be like, oh, well, he knows, ask him. Truthfully, you can learn from anybody. So sometimes just being quiet and observing and being a sponge, no matter how much experience you have, is the best thing you can do. Sometimes just be quiet and listen. Like parents used to say that. Just be quiet sometimes. You need to just listen. Truthfully, we do. And we think that because we're older and we've experienced some things that we know more. But we might know more, but we might not know that. So for me, it's don't always go off of what you've experienced. Don't judge and just listen. So sometimes I just need to I'll be in a room, and that's what's so dope about me and my production partner. You know, he hasn't quote had the success that I've had from the past, but I feel like he's going to be responsible for a lot of my success in the future. So a lot of times I just be quiet. What you think? Oh, we don't need that? All right, to take it out. It's always letting other people drive. That's why you got to watch your circle, have dope people around you so that you can sit back sometimes and let other people be dope at what they do. And you focus and stay in your life.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, my man RL, he done dropped some incredible gems. He done even sung for you guys. He sung for my lady. Listen, I'm gonna take your voice and put my face on there. I'm gonna be like, listen, man, look at this. Yeah, let the people know that live under the rock. A lot of people live under the rock. Where they can find you out on social media, where they can find all your music, what's next, all of that. Lay it out.
Well, I'm just RL everywhere. Music will be everywhere, you know. But I want to take the time to just thank you for allowing me to use your platform, bro.
Thank you.
I see greatness in you, and this has been a wonderful interview. I do want to thank my team, Jay, Rhea, and everybody, Doc. You know, I know that, you know, I've had a lot of success in my life, but I also know that if I'm going to continue to be blessed, it's going to take people like you and the people on my team and the people that are watching this right now to continue to believe in me, man. And for you to think I'm important enough to be on here, man, that means the world to me, bro. So I thank you, man, like for real. And cheers to you. It's bad luck to toast water, so I will toast you in my mind when I pull up my wine later on this evening. And I just want to thank you, bro, and tell the wifey I said, hey.
All right, man. Listen, man, thank you very much. I know she probably back in there working, but she be sometimes looking at her phone. So when I get off, she'll be like, oh, thank you, baby. So you just gave me some boom tonight. Thank you. All right,
man. You take care, man. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right.
All right, you too.